I still have some coffee and I still have San Pellegrino.
Perfect.
If I hadn't mentioned already, if you want a nice, crisp, refreshing, bubbly water with no sour aftertaste, try San Pellegrino. Oh, it's nice.
I've never had anybody do actual commercials on the show.
You're going to use this
crazy.
and you're going to take those clips and send it to
P.O. box on there?
Bergamo, Italy.
Yes.
Bottled at the source, San Pellegrino, Terme, Bergamo, Bergamo, Italy.
Have you ever done like commercials like that before?
I've done voiceover stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, voiceover stuff is great.
I mean, you've done video games, you've done movies.
Yeah,
you've done it all.
I did a couple some
That
cartoons
must be
and stuff.
Is that the most
it's
easiest
fun
work?
too, man. It's
Yeah,
fun.
like, seems
Voiceover
like it
work
is.
is fun.
Yeah.
Because you can get all like wacky in front of the, in front of the microphone, and that's been fun. I did some shows for some
You did like Alvin and the
cartoons.
Chipmunks.
Yeah, that's
right?
live action though.
Right.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
for just voiceover at the microphone, I did The Incredibles, which was
Oh, wow.
Brad Bird is an amazing. Brad Bird directed Iron Giant. Have you guys ever seen Iron Giant?
I haven't seen
Hand
it.
animated.
Yep.
Really?
And then he did The Incredibles. He did Ratatouille, which is so good. He's an amazing director. That was really cool to do The Incredibles. But voiceover work is really, really cool.
How long does something like working on The Incredibles take as far as doing the voice?
Over a year, because you're in and then 3 months would pass and they'd call you back in. You know what I mean?
So would you do like scenes or like a whole
Yeah,
script?
like a 5-hour day.
Okay.
Getting through scenes
Right.
and with Brad Bird directing you at Disney in a sound booth.
And
you
you're
know.
not seeing anything. You're just, there's no
Literally
animation already done.
Early drawings.
That's it.
Oh. And wait, are you interacting with the
No.
other? So you're
No.
by yourself?
You're by yourself.
Okay.
Right?
Which is weird because how do you have a conversation by yourself when you know, is somebody else reading their other lines to you? Or
I mean, I liken it to if you're a musician and you go into a studio, you're laying down your guitar part.
that's it.
And you know that the drummer did his or her part, blah, blah, blah. And then they slice and dice it all
no
together.
And I
bouncing
guess
off
you're,
each other.
yeah, and I guess you're also aware of they just cut it and edit it however
And
they
a really
please.
good director knows
Right.
exactly what's going on. They have the movie edited in their head.
Right.
I mean, technology's gotten even more advanced now. This was like early 2000s. I think they had already been working on The Incredibles for about 7 years.
What?
Before I came in.
That's
I think I could be mistaken, but I think the Pixar movies they make them much faster now.
I'm sure.
But they would take a 15-second clip and send it to the rendering farm where they literally had like massive buildings, Pixar, with just hard drives that render data.
Wow.
So a 15-second clip, like a fight sequence or something, 15 seconds, they'd send that off to the rendering farm and get it back a month later rendered.
That's
What?
And
So
then
it
have to
takes
make changes to that if they want, if they need
years to make these movies. Years.
to. And then what do you do? Do they just hit you up, or do you go in for an audition for a voice
They
thing?
hit
or
me up, and I was
No
like,
way.
"A Pixar offer? Yes." Brad Bird apparently was listening to my dialogue from a Kevin Smith movie called Dogma.
Okay.
Where I played this kind of evil guy with this kind of elongated
Guy's real.
talking and this kind of villain. And Brad Bird was listening to the dialogue and looking at the drawings of Syndrome with the big red hair and put it together and thought it would work.
That is so cool.
So that was really cool. I was so honored to be in a Pixar movie, man.
Yeah.
They make the best movies,
Incredible.
animated or otherwise. They make have you seen Up?
Yeah.
Oh,
With
yeah.
The balloons and
Have
all
you
You
seen
know what I
that.
mean?
Up?
That touches you
Dude,
so hard. That first 10 minutes, man, I'm gonna fucking cry my eyes.
I cry every time I see that with that piano music and just
Bro.
the whole montage of their relationship.
Yeah.
Crushing.
It is.
And you can break and reflect on life from a cartoon movie.
I know,
In 10
right?
Isn't that cool?
minutes, like
Yeah.
how it's so
Yeah.
insane.
Beautiful movie, Up.
Yeah.
So are you in a booth and they just do it, and are people directing
It's a
you?
big sound room.
Oh, it is.
Right.
Okay.
And you know, like a what they call ADR, right? So, you know, when you go back in to re-record dialogue, you watch the scene, and you know, beep, beep, beep. Hey, Frank, I told you to put the gun down. If the audio sucked on the day, you have
you.
to fill in you have to re-record certain.
That's
you
why
do
you're
that with
coming back
movie.
every 3 months.
You,
Okay.
you have to do that with every movie.
Okay.
It was in one of those rooms, a room like that at Disney, not a sound booth.
Even filming like Almost Famous, they film a scene, 3-6 months later, hey, we need you to come back. This scene was not clean
Once
audio.
they edit it, exactly. We had an airplane. There was
Yeah.
a pop on the mic. There was, every actor on any movie has
boom,
to
you turned your head this way. We need to get it clean.
Yeah.
And so you got to go in and really
And match your lips.
Match your lips.
You got to match your
And you
lips.
got to have the same tone, and you got to
have the same tone.
Wow.
Yep. You got to have the same tone.
Sometimes during TV shows, like you could tell when it's dubbed. I'm like, dude, this.
Oh,
The
yeah.
funniest stuff is when they
dubbed
dub
it
for
over.
TV.
Oh,
You know what I mean? They dub for TV. So if it's like, hey, asshole, get out of my way, it'll be like, hey, hot dog, get out of my way. You know, like, hey, jerk, get out. Like, it doesn't match
doesn't
at all.
match.
Right?
Oh, yeah,
And it's
yeah.
some, like, it's G-rated word, you know?
but that must be cool though, because you get to film the movie, but then you almost get to go back and relive
Yeah,
some of the
for
stuff
sure.
that you did.
Yeah.
you know, which
Unless
is kinda
it's
cool.
like you get there and they're like, hey, we got about 15 pages of lines you need to redo.
Oh, wow.
That's when you're like, all right, okay. And 8 hours later, you're leaving the sound booth or whatever.
And you got to do the same thing like 50 or 60 times in a row.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
we didn't get that. We got to do
Yep.
it again. We got to do that again.
Beep. Hey, Dad, nice to see you.
do it a
You
little,
have to match the lip.
do
you
it a
know?
little slower. We would need a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah. It's ultimately a fun,
Sure.
creative process for sure.
I mean, movie
The
making.
movie making thing.
It
and
seems
TV
really
and stuff.
fun.
It is
Yeah.
super fun. It
because
is
you got to
super
be
fun.
somebody you're not.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
And you really got to like explore that stuff, like Almost Famous. You know, you got
Yeah.
to be this guy. You know, and
Yeah, we did band rehearsal for 6 weeks.
Wow.
So I'm growing out my hair, and we're starting to wear some of the wardrobe to kind of get
get
the
in the
vibe.
thing. Yeah,
And
it's almost
we
like a
have-
costume.
Exactly. We had all the equipment was vintage, the guitars, the amps, and all of that. And we did 6 weeks
Damn.
To
of
fit
band
the
rehearsal
scene.
to
Yeah,
just
that's
feel
amazing.
And were you musically inclined?
I played guitar in it.
Okay.
All the stuff, the scenes where I'm playing guitar.
You're,
Oh,
that's
wow.
you.
The guitar,
but
yeah.
before you were always.
Yeah,
would
I
you
mean, I play a little
dabble?
bit of guitar.
Okay.
I'm not, yeah.
So it wasn't fully out of left field.
No.
Okay.
But Billy Crudup, who played Russell Hammond, the lead guitar player, he learned for the movie and still to this day plays.
Wow.
Which is really cool.
That's sick.
Amazing.
And that
door
movie's
for him.
21 years old now. That movie came out 22 years ago.
And I think
this
that
year.
it's a song on the bus
Oh,
that
Hold
gets
Me Closer,
everybody.
Tiny Dancer.
Hold Me Closer, Tiny Dancer.
Imagine the music budget on that movie. I mean, there's Led Zeppelin songs in there, Elton John songs in there.
Now, see, that must be a fun movie to work on.
Oh, are you kidding me? 6 months.
6 months.
The camaraderie, and also too, no iPhones, no social media BS.
Yeah.
So cut. All right, that's lunch, or we need 20 minutes to set up for the next shot. We would all just go sit in the chairs in the sound stage or wherever and just jam, play guitar together, sing, tell jokes.
Talk.
Now it's like cut. You go to your respective chairs and everybody just pulls out the
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah.
You know.
Super
Yeah.
bizarre.
Wow.
So we were just all hanging out, telling jokes, having fun,
Amazing.
jamming. So it felt like
and I think
the
that
movie
translates
behind the scenes.
to the
I
that
think
translates
for
in the
sure.
movie.
Yeah,
Sure.
it was important, I think, for the movie that everybody got along and hung out and
Absolutely.
stuff. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Dude.
Is that
Great
a long
movie.
time to film for a movie? 6 months?
yeah, it's pretty long.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. I think those Marvel movies are a year and a half. Like they're
yeah.
way
Oh,
longer
yeah,
now
I'm
because
sure.
they have all kinds of crazy CGI.
Yeah.
Well, I watched some
And
of the
all that
behind the
stuff.
scenes of that stuff, and literally
Marvel
like
stuff? Yeah.
I mean, all that stuff. It's like
Oh,
they're
green
literally
screen.
filmed in a green screen
Yeah,
studio or a blue
that's,
screen.
That's a little tough. That's
Nothing's
a little tricky.
there.
Yeah.
You're interacting with some goblin or some little like
Yeah.
slug, and
Well, we've been doing the Alvin and the Chipmunks. That must have been. Was it weird?
Yeah, there was tennis balls and little stuffed animals.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're just like talking to a tennis
yeah,
ball.
Yeah.
So you kind of could get how that could work.
The whole thing is I've always sort of been fascinated by the like movie making
But
stuff.
then you go back and watch it, and you're like, how
It
the
looks
fuck
real,
did
or it
they
look-
do
yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Holy shit!
Does the Marvel stuff look real? It doesn't. I mean, it's not supposed to. I mean, it's supposed to look real. I
think it's half and
but
half.
it's also supposed to look fantastical and
Yeah.
Supernatural,
Supernatural,
yeah, out of this
world,
Right.
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it works for what
Yeah,
they're doing.
I saw the Batman last night. Did you guys
I
like
haven't
it?
I saw it
yet.
yesterday too.
Did you like it?
I did.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool because it wasn't too like out of this world.
I liked that it wasn't super actiony. I liked that Pattinson, Bruce Wayne seemed like just a kind of a confused, troubled kid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't really know much about comics, ironically, even though I've been in a bunch of Kevin Smith movies. And
Shout out Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
He
great.
knows everything about every single comic book ever
Yeah,
written
yeah.
on the planet in the history of
We
humankind.
did a show about comic books.
I was in overseas when before Mallrats came out, so I'm about 25 at that time. And Kevin Smith calls me and says, "Hey, would you mind cutting your trip short? It was like a vacation. I want you to come to Comic-Con in San Diego to like be on a panel." And I genuinely panicked. Kevin, dude, I don't know anything about comic books. And I'm playing this guy in Mallrats that knows everything about comic books. What if I'm hated and they're throwing rotten apples at me? He goes, "Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." So I went, and thankfully everybody was super cool. And surprisingly, nobody asked me what my favorite comic book character was at Comic-Con.
Wow.
You know, surrounded by thousands of Kevin Smith fans and comic book fans that know everything about DC 1, Volume 3.
Page 2.
Page 2. There was a misprint.
Right.
So rad that these people know this. I was like, I watched The Amazing Spider-Man as a kid.
Yeah.
That's about the the extent of
Batman and Robin like,
Yeah.
on television.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
that Spider. I think when that ended, it was time to walk to school.
Doubt.
In the when I was a kid, Spider-Man, that one.
Yeah.
It ended, and we had to walk to school.
Where is that like button? Right? Is it right here or right here?
Just a little scroll coming down the bottom.
It's
Subscribe.
over to it's on your
It's on my right?
left.
It's on
No,
my
on your
left.
left.
Hey,
Yeah.
hit that
Right there.
button right there.
Right there.
Right
Yeah,
there.
please.
The like button's kind of like in the middle there. It's like we're kind of
Oh, it's like
there.
right here?
Kind of.
Like
yeah,
right
The
there?
subscribe's like over to the left.
It's like right over there. All right.